Okay, all set? I'm so glad because in lesson 1 you understood the keyboard. You have an advantage. Knowing this makes music theory so much easier. Why? Because on the keyboard there is one key for each unique pitch laid out in plain sight, and it's not so obvious with other instruments. So let's sharpen up your reading skills. This is fun, quick, and easy.
Why?
Why, you ask? Good question. When you know how to read, whether it's a novel, a map, or a music book, you're able to get exact information intended by the author. There is no guessing to come close. Music notation gives you and others exact information to create an accurate rendition of a song. Then you can learn music quickly without struggling to guess it. So we begin in the medieval period when music was first written down around the year 1000 by a monk named Guido of Arezzo, Italy. Wrote beautiful Gregorian chants using a simple system that reminded them how each chant was supposed to be sung, showing where the notes go up or down. When you first learned how to play your instrument, your music looked similar as you learned to find and play the letter names which went up, down, or stayed the same. Then we took the same letter names and placed them onto a much more modern and organized system to write and read music called the staff, a new home for your notes. The staff has 5 lines and 4 spaces, which we always count from the bottom up to the top. Most instruments use 1 staff. Keyboard and harp music use 2 staffs, so we join them together with a bar. And a brace. Whew! Notice there is a pattern here. Line, space, line, space. Then to keep a continuous smooth flow, we're going to add a little ledger line here, connecting straight up through both staffs. Notice we were climbing higher, so our upper staff will be used for treble, high, and the lower staff will be used for bass, low. When you raise the bass volume in your car, you can hear and feel the low bass. Sounds are so low, it vibrates the ground as you feel it through your body. The treble volume is high, you enjoy the vocals, violins, flutes, etc. If your instrument is voice, soprano sings the highest range, alto is middle, then tenor, and bass sings low. What range do you or your favorite vocalists sing? Each of these lines and spaces are represented by an exact white key on the keyboard. Middle C represents the middle of the keyboard. The middle ledger line represents the middle of the staff. The upper treble staff directly corresponds to each of the upper keys on the keyboard. The lower bass staff directly corresponds to the lower keys on the keyboard. But the treble staff and the bass staff cannot be officially called treble or bass until we put a clef sign on it. So for this, put down your popcorn. We are going for a ride. Where we could be inspired by some of the greatest artists in the world. Yes, I have my coin to toss in the Trevi fountain and I can almost smell the fresh bread. Ah, Leonardo and Michelangelo, may we please have the pleasure of your artistic assistance. Musicians must be skilled in drawing clef signs, so channel your inner artist. The treble clef and the bass clef, skilled musicians read and write. Leonardo, you graced us with your Mona Lisa, The Last Supper, and so much more. You are an incredible master of so many subjects: literature, science, math, art, and music. Leonardo will help us draw the treble clef properly. It starts just under the second line, under the G line, at our red dot, and curves upward to staff line number 3, and curves down like a backward C until it touches down on line 1. Then it's a swoop up through line 2 with a stroke heading up toward the right to line 5, so it almost looks like a 6 or a G just the way it is. Here's where we will fancy it up by adding a finial at the top above the staff, returning to line 5 at the green dot. Maybe you have seen a finial at the top of a lamp or an umbrella or a genie lamp. Some say the treble clef finial shape was symbolic of a lowercase cursive S, which represented Sol of Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol, the 5th step G of C, D, E, F, G. Wow, it's high up here. Not too high for Michelangelo. 4 years of tremendous artistry and enjoyment painting the Sistine Chapel dome ceiling. Let's keep going. Then add a slightly slanted but straight line straight through the middle of your beautiful original curve and down under the staff, ending it with a fish hook. Ta-da! That is a beautiful treble clef. The clef's nickname is the G clef. And now, when placed on the staff, we can officially call the staff a treble staff. Thank you, Leonardo. Wow, what a beautiful job, and you have inspired others to join in. Michelangelo has agreed to help us draw the bass clef, which starts with a dot at our thick red dot on the fourth line. On the bass staff, this will mark our F. It arches up to line 5 and back to line 4. Then swoops down in a curve to just below line 2. Then add 2 dots, one in the fourth space, and the other dot directly below the first dot in the third space. It's as if the 2 dots are protecting the special F line, like 2 bodyguards protecting our famous F. Michelangelo, you have uplifted us with your David, the Sistine Chapel ceiling, the Piazza, and more. Your artistry has inspired us to draw a terrific bass clef. Its nickname is the F clef. I know the bass clef evolved from a printed capital F, but it looks to me like it could have evolved from a cursive capital F. Now, when placed on the staff, we can officially call the staff a bass staff. Thank you, Michelangelo. Wow, great job on the bass clef. While we are in Rome, let's relax on the Spanish steps in front of the Spanish embassy to understand these grand staff facts. Now that our clef signs are officially on our treble and bass staffs, it's time to place notes on the lines and space. Middle C on that inside ledger line floats. If it's closer to the upper treble, right hand plays it. If it's closer to the lower bass, left hand plays it, but it's the same middle C. The notes shown on the staff only represent this area of white keys. Later on, we could add higher or lower, and that's so easy. We can place the letter names of the tones going up and down from middle C. We are including high G and low F to this grand staff to make your learning easier. Let's just check your notation knowledge so far. Music notation was first written down during the blank period of music history. Medieval. Around the year 1000, a monk from Arezzo, Italy, named Blank, notated beautiful Gregorian chants using a simple system of notation. Guido. A group of 5 lines and 4 spaces is called a staff. 2 staffs that contain music from one instrument, piano, xylophone, or harp, is called the blank blank. Grand staff. The grand staff is joined together by a bar. A bar and a brace. The name of the upper staff for high notes is treble. The name of the lower staff for low notes is bass, giving us this continuous pattern of line, space, line, space. But the staff does not officially have a name until we put a blank sign on it for pitch. Clef. The name of this clef sign is treble clef. Its nickname is the blank clef. G clef. Its nickname is the G clef because when drawn, it wraps around the G line. The name of this clef sign is bass clef. Its nickname is the blank clef. F clef. Its nickname is the F clef because when drawn, it starts on the F line. Done! How did you do? If it did not feel good, that's just your signal to review. If so far so good, we will head over for gelato. Always take time out to acknowledge and celebrate your accomplishments. Quick letter recognition is what elevates you to intermediate level theory because elementary theory focuses on middle C area. Pianists read all these notes on both staffs. Other instrumentalists use one staff, but having a knowledge of both staffs gives skilled musicians a leap up on their game. We are going there in lesson 3, but realize how far you've come already. We have more adventures ahead in Italy where you will feel the thrill of the ride as we check out treble note recognition during lesson 3. Buckle up, see you there.
Thank you.